Alright, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star video, and with it only being less than 2 weeks till the GOAT Aventurine is out, a lot of people are wondering what they want to run with him, because he is sustained, so obviously he's going to be a very flexible unit. A lot of people are wondering where he might work better, and where he might not be the better play for a preservation sustained character or a sustained character on that team. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over some best team options you can use, and some options you might want to avoid. Also, I literally said I don't take gambles that I can't win, and I literally just became Aventurine IRL last night. Said that to my friend. I said I'm placing down the gamble. I did some summons and Archetypes, and look at this. I pulled Innis. After losing twice to Horn, which I'm not upset about because I really like Horn now, I now have her. So, W. I'm literally IRL Aventurine, no cap. Before I get into the video, drop a sub, hit the like, turn on the bell icon. Let's get straight into it. So first, let me briefly discuss what Aventurine does. So he is a preservation sustained character, and he doesn't work like Bushman, he works like a shielder. Pretty much providing a shield to your entire team so they stay alive. When the shield is hit, he can gain stacks for a follow-up attack. He also gives a bunch of effect res to anyone that does have his shield. It's very easy to have his shield up because the ways you can do it is if you do have his second bonus trace unlocked, pretty much going into the battle you will already have a shield at the equal level of the skill. You can get it by popping the skill if you run low, or practically the way you always keep it up, when you do proc his follow-up attack, you gain a weaker version of the shield. Obviously, if you already have a really good shield, it won't override it with a weaker one, it will just stay the same. So his follow-up attack is very easy to get because he needs 7 stacks of something called Blind Bet, and the way you get Blind Bet is pretty much either having anyone with a shield be attacked, that will give him 1 stack. If he gets hit, and he gets hit with something that provides a debuff towards him, he will resist that debuff and he will gain 2 stacks. Another way you can gain stacks is through his ultimate. So when you do choose someone to hit with the ultimate, which is single target, pretty much it inflicts them with something called Unnerved, and what Unnerved does is makes that enemy inflicted with Unnerved take 15% more crit damage. I say it's another way to gain Blind Bet charges because when you do pop the ultimate, you can get 1 up to 7 points of Blind Bet, so it's also RNG related. And when you do have 7 stacks, again, you proc a follow-up attack, which is Bounce. And so Aventurine is also this hybrid DPS preservation character because of the way you can build him. I say more of a hybrid now because he has a trace where for every 100 defense you go above 1600, he will gain 2% crit rate, going up to 48%. So if you have up to 4000 defense on him, not only will his shield be extremely powerful, but he'll also gain a 48% crit rate bonus for free, which makes him so much easier to build as a hybrid DPS. And so now let's sort of talk about really good characters to run with him. As he is a preservation sustained character, he will fit on almost any team just like Bushman can. There are some exceptions, practically only one, but before I get into that, I'll talk about the characters he's really good with. So Aventurine will be excelling on a team with follow-up attack characters, mainly to name 2 that will be extremely good with him, will be Topaz and Numby, along with Dr. Ratio. The synergy between these 3 characters are very good. Topaz having a follow-up attack, buffing other characters that do follow-up attacks. Dr. Ratio being one of the hardest, if not the hardest, hitting single target character in the game. And now Aventurine being the preservation sustained character, because I didn't mention previously, but when someone does use a follow-up attack, it gives them 1 stack of Blind Bet. Up to 3 stacks per turn. And so getting a follow-up attack with these 2 characters are extremely easy. It's very easy to get it, and you're guaranteed with Dr. Ratio when you do have the ultimate Wise Man's Folly inflicted. And with Topaz, you practically just need to pop a skill on someone once and just spam basic attack on them just so you can get the follow-up attack quickly. With the ult, make it even easier and stronger. Again, her buffing other characters that do follow-up attack damage, buffing both Ratio and Aventurine, while Aventurine keeps them alive and also deals damage. And the Unnerved making your Ratio, if you use your main DPS of the team, which for the most likely part he will, do even more damage. So the synergy with these 3, and then you pair it with someone like Ruan May or Sparkle for your Harmony support, makes this team's damage output extremely strong. Dr. Ratio will hit like an absolute truck. Topaz will be inflicting some pretty good damage, but again, she's mainly going to be there for enabling other follow-up attack characters to be better. And Aventurine will be hitting pretty decently hard, while also keeping your entire team alive. So Dr. Ratio, Topaz, and Aventurine is going to be practically the top trio that you can use, because again, he keeps them alive. He gets buffed by Topaz's follow-up attack support. He also can debuff the enemy to make them take more damage, and he also benefits from other characters doing follow-up attack. So these 2, or running a synergy with 2 of them at least, is going to be really good. You don't need Topaz, you could just do Aventurine and Dr. Ratio, they work perfectly together. Or you could also just do Aventurine and Topaz, like that also is a really good option. And now another fantastic team he will be on will be Acheron's main teams. Because he is a preservation character, yes, you can use the Universal Trend LC on him, albeit it won't be as effective because he himself does not have any form of a taunt like the Fire MC or Jeopard has. But as I mentioned, him also just being able to keep your team always alive because that shield is very hard to break and it's very easy to refresh. He also has a debuff that I'm never to talk about is also considered a debuff as I mentioned, so that also does benefit Acheron. If you do have a signature light cone, his follow-up attack now will also inflict a debuff, making the enemies take more damage. So both the debuffs he can provide directly benefit Acheron because he makes the enemies take more damage or crit damage, aka making her, when she alters skills, do more damage as a result. So him not only making it easier for her to gain stacks for her ultimate, he also does just make the enemies take more damage, which also will benefit when she does ult to do more damage against the enemies. And obviously the nihility debuffers you do run with Acheron, they themselves can also do good damage, like Silverwolf, built properly, can do really good damage, Welt does fantastic damage, Gwynaifin does really solid damage, Black Swan does really solid damage. So not only will he be benefiting Acheron's damage, he will also be benefiting everyone's damage because again, they're inflicted with it, so anytime you do hit them, they will be taking that increased damage. Now those are mainly the two teams he will be excelling at. Again, follow-up attack teams he will benefit the most, and he'll be fantastic on Acheron just because of the debuffs he provides and how he just makes it to where the team doesn't die. Past that, he is still fantastic with anyone just because of what he provides. As I mentioned, Unnerved being a universal debuff that makes enemies take more damage. If you have his light cone making enemies take even more damage by using the follow-up attack, it will benefit any DPS. So whether you want to run him on a team with Argenti, whether you want to run him on a team with Jinglu, whether you want to run him on a team with Danheng, hell, even Yanqing, Zele, the upcoming character Buhil, like no matter what, pretty much any DPS that does damage based on crit, you'll be great. You'll also work on dot characters teams just because again the shield's really good. The increased crit damage won't be that beneficial, but if you do have his light cone, that damage dealt will be very beneficial. And again, because he is just such a broken sustain, having that shield up will, again, benefit literally anyone. Now, moving on to where he might not be the best option. Before I get into specifics, if you do have someone like Fushuan, a way where Fushuan might be better in scenarios will obviously be Mono Quantum, because as the name says, it's Mono Quantum, 4 quantum types, so obviously he being an imaginary won't fit there. But the main thing is, you wouldn't want to run him on a team if you are very much benefiting from the support Fushuan gives. Because as we do know, Fushuan does heal, Fushuan does provide max HP based on her own, and she provides crit rate. If you have a team that centers around also benefiting from the max HP and benefiting from the crit rate, for example, my Zele build only has 60% crit rate, but because of the 12% Fushuan gives, she has 72 just by having Matrix up. So I have a team more tailored towards having Fushuan with her. So some cases like that where I know it is pretty common to build team based around running specific characters. So if you already have a team set up, running Aventurine will sort of make that fall apart because Aventurine himself doesn't provide crit rate to the team, doesn't give max HP. So that's a relatively general idea on where you'd probably want to keep someone like Fushuan on. Or if you have very specific things like running, if you're really wanting that universal market on Jeopard or Fire MC onto the Acheron team, or if you're running someone like Gallagher, then those are probably teams that you are pretty set in stone on, so you probably wouldn't want to replace them with Aventurine. But now, the only character where I would definitely be against running with Aventurine on the team would be Blade. You are more giving Blade detrimental effects by having Aventurine with him, because as we do know, for Blade to gain stacks, he needs to be hit or have his HP consumed. While yes, he can be hit, if you do have the shield up and his HP doesn't go down, he does not gain a stack and he does not gain a buff. And so Aventurine, with providing such a good shield, Blade would practically, even if he does get hit with an AoE or something, not having his HP consumed would mean that he can only gain stacks by popping his skill, basic attack, or ultimate, which would make it significantly harder because you do want Blade to be attacked in general because he does gain stacks out of being attacked and losing HP. He also does gain some buffs for losing that HP, so you'd obviously want your Blade to be attacked. And so the only time you wouldn't want to run Aventurine on a team would be if you are running Blade. Because again, you want Blade to get hit, you want him to lose HP just so he gets stronger and just so you can shut up the follow-up attack, and Aventurine would obviously make it to where he can't lose HP besides using his own HP drain effects. So yeah, that has been the video. That is the best teams for Aventurine and best characters. Aventurine is going to be a very, very strong and a very, very universal character to use on teams. He is going to be the new sustain character that is practically as good and universal as Fushuan is. And so for the most part, you can practically run him on any single team you want to do. Again, besides Blade with the HP drain stuff. But looking past that, he is going to be absolutely insane. I am super excited for him to release. I am going to go crazy on his banner. I'm going to try to max him out. It's going to be a fun wild ride running him on literally every single team. So expect a bunch of videos on that. But yeah, that has been the video. Hope you guys found the video helpful. Peace out.